Hey everyone, welcome to another video from Mastering Alpha. Today I'm going to talk about three-period RSI. So this is a trading system, and when I say trading system, it is part of systematic trading, meaning you create your system which can be put in an algorithm. So you can basically write it down and say these exact events will happen, and based on that events I want my entry, stop and exit. So once we have that, it is easy to put that in algorithm or in even code it. So I guess everyone uses TradingView for trading. I'm talking about retail traders at least. So TradingView offers this feature called PineScript, and in PineScript you can code any trading system you want, which has an algorithm, basically, which has a flow chart. If this happens, so you can code your entry, exits, and stops, as I said. So I have been curious about this for a while now, and I have put a lot of effort into trying to develop this three-period RSI. So moving ahead, I'm just going to try to explain. I'm going to introduce what three-period RSI trading system is, and I'm going to show some backtesting results. So backtesting is applying this to multiple charts and seeing how the trade is profitable over the time. So let's go ahead. So first, as I said, I'm going to introduce. It is based on Connor's two-period RSI. So Larry Connors was a really famous systematic trader, and he has developed a lot of trading systems like this. And there's a book famous. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's called Short-Term Strategies That Work. So it really talks about basic trading system, and he says keep things simple. If you want to develop trading system, or if you want to have a rule-based trading approach, keep things simple. So he developed a strategy called two-period RSI. So I'm going to explain that. And the one I have developed is a three-period RSI. I'm going to explain why I chose three-period. So again, there are two types that I am looking to cover. However, I have only worked on mean reversion so far. So I will also explain what that is. And another strategy that I want to develop in future, it is kind of work in progress, is a trend following system. So I'll explain what those two types are. And then finally, we will see the results and see comparison. We'll see how the two-period RSI looks and how the three-period RSI mean reversion looks once we test it on several charts. So let's go ahead. So RSI is a very common indicator, right? A lot of retail investors use it. A lot of professional investors also use it, but everyone uses it differently. That's what makes these indicators unique. Everyone uses them differently. So this is a momentum indicator that was developed in 1970s, and it compares the magnitude of recent gains versus losses. So it's going to take average of, let's say, if you choose a 14 period RSI, which is the most common RSI period. So for last 14 days, RSI is going to average how many days it was up, how many days it was down, and then take that ratio in a certain mathematical formula, right? But what Larry Connors, which I mentioned earlier, he said that according to his study, 14 period RSI offers no edge. Now, a lot of you might be confused that how is that possible that everyone uses this and Larry Connors is saying it has no edge. What he was trying to say is he actually compared multiple periods. And based on his study, if you were to shorten the period about for RSI, more profitable this trading system got. So, that gave us ability to catch short-term tops and bottoms. So if let's say price is moving up and maybe on a daily chart, we will only see the top when the global top happens or something like that, right? But what he was trying to develop is basically a scalping mechanism. So you can actually scalp all these tops and bottoms. So depending on what type of trader you are, you may be interested in this. I am trying to do more of regular trading, not swing trading, but more like 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute chart trading. So I love this strategy. So This is what got me curious, and started digging more. So what is Connor's two-period RSI? So he said that, uh, as I mentioned earlier, as you shorten the period of RSI, more profitable it gets. So he chose two-period based on his study. And then he quantified the overbought and oversold conditions. So overbought was about 90, 95, 98, 99. He tested these few like ranges. And oversold was 10, 5, 2, and 1. Like he went all the way up to 1 just to see how the performance happens if, let's say, we buy, we go long when RSI is below 1. So, that's really extreme. But what he was trying to say is, more extreme the condition is, more profitable you're going to be, or it'll perform better, right? So that's what his results indicated. So to optimize his strategy, he tried a lot of moving averages, and he set up a rule that, okay, first I'm going to establish a trend. Now, this you may have heard very often. It is very, very, very important to establish a trend because you have to know in which direction you want to trade. You cannot just say that I'm going to short this stock or short this equity or crypto, and even if the trend is going up, the higher time frame trend is up. So yeah, you might be able to do that, but you have to manage time frame, you know. So but anyway, what he said, I will establish a trend using SMA 200, simple moving average 200. So if my price is above that, I'm going a lot for long. And if my price is below that, I'm going to look for shorts. So when we go long, we'll try to catch bottoms. And when we go short, we'll try to catch tops, all these local tops, right? And note that he was talking about a particular RSI value among his study. Even though he tested for 10, 5, 2, and 1, he chose 5. And as soon as RSI goes below 5 and the candle closes, he entered the trade and he exited when the price closed above SMA 5. So I'll just show how this looks, right? So here is RSI at the bottom. Now I have modified this. This is not a regular 14 period RSI. This is 2 period RSI. And this level is 5. So as soon as it went below, this was the candle when it went below. He waited for the close and entered. And then he exited when the price closed above. So this was the candle when price closed. So this is where he exited. Okay. So what you can see here, he was emphasizing on trade entering on pullbacks rather than waiting for the trend to confirm. So all this short-term mechanism was to catch this pullback all the way even before a trend is established. So that was basically scalping that he was doing, and he found this profitable. Maybe it was his style. I love this too, so that's why I implemented it. So basically, you can see some traders would try to draw trend lines here, and maybe they'll wait for the breakout. But he had a very short setup, right? So that was his 2 period RSI. So these were actually his average profit to loss statements, and he posted those against multiple stops. So if his stop loss was 1% away, 3% away, what was happening? You can see, and it is very surprising that when he had no stop loss, that's when he had the most profit. So that was his rule. Maybe because what may be happening, I'll go back uh, one step. Because this is such a short setup, VIX may just hit your stop loss. So you don't want stop loss here. And because this is such an extreme condition, RSI below 5, so his system shows that a pullback is very likely once this extreme condition happens. So that's why he did not use stop loss, and he didn't, so that he didn't get stopped out often. So not using a stop loss was producing the best results for him. Okay, but obviously I am not going to do that because I don't plan on testing it for such a short scalping. I was testing it for 15-minute period, but I'll explain that later. So again, his strategy was tested for stocks. So he did a lot of tests and then he posted his results from 1995 to 2007 on a daily time frame. The strategy produced 49 signals and it was 83% profitable. So an average hold was 3 days. So pretty good, right? 83% profitable. So here's one of the example from 2007. So is it possible to just use this system and be this much profitable in crypto? So that was my next problem statement. So I tried to apply that to Bitcoin, and unfortunately, it was not working. So 2-period RSI was not working. Okay, so I tested, and this here, the net profit I got was -4%, and profitability was 66%. So even though the profit, the trade where I got profit was 66%, out of all the trades. But because the profit was so small and the losses were higher, I ended up with net profit for -4.4%. And this was from May to June. Okay. So clearly it was not working. It missed a lot of trades during the 2019 sort of uptrend, after the bear market happened. So the main reason was RSI barely went below 5 on the daily. I mean, you can see here. I don't think it closed below 5. So it missed all these trades. And I had this SMA line drawn here. So before that, there were, I think, few shorts. But that too, you can see like one short in Feb, one in March, and one April. So that's such a spaced apart. So probably not what I was looking for. So what I did, just like he was saying, try using multiple periods. I picked multiple periods and I settled on 3 period. So this seemed to be giving the most better results. So the strategy I'm going to explain is mean reversion strategy, just like what he had developed. So the reason this is mean reversion, if I'll go back a little bit, mean reversion is about, if a price pullbacks to an extremity, it will come back to normal. So here the normal is SMA 5, right? And that's what his thesis is. Is price pulls back down, it'll come back to normal. So this is basically mean. SMA 5 is mean, so we call this mean reversion. So mean reversion strategies are very short period strategies. Okay, so I like this. uh, the reason I did this is because I felt really like happy when I was actually able to see results using 3-period RSI. So that's why I just decided to do this animation. But yeah, whatever. It's not important. So I optimized the strategy just like he had. Instead of choosing SMA 200, in this case, I chose SMA 100. And we'll see the results and we'll see comparison. So instead of choosing RSI value below 5, I chose 3-period RSI below 7. And I also modified the exit condition. Instead of exiting on SMA, I chose to exit on RSI overbought values. So again, here I tried multiple. I started with 95, but surprisingly, the most profit was obtained when we closed the trade when RSI, this should have been above. So yeah, and the reason I picked 15-minute chart for this. The reason is because I wanted it to work for lower time frames, because that's the kind of trading I want to do. I don't want to do run a trade for multiple days. I want to be in and out within few hours or maybe like a day or two. So that's why I chose 15 minutes. You could also do 5 minutes, and maybe the parameters would have to be different. So, and I have back. So I'm going to show you results for Ethereum. Okay, I compared, as I said, MA 100 and MA 200 and how this was changing. And obviously, you can vary your conditions enter using 3-period oversold values 5 to 10, and then overbought values from 95, 90 all the way up to 60. So this is what I'm going to show you. So tada. So let's start. Let's zoom out and let's just see. The blue is MA 100 value. MA 200 is yellow. So let's start off from the left side. So you enter below 5 RSI and then exit above 95. Surprisingly negative. You would think that more range it covers. That was not working, because as I said, RSI barely went below 5 for a lot of charts in crypto. So moving on, I reduced the RSI 90, somewhat better. So in this case, oh actually, yeah, surprisingly MA 200 is better. But as I'm keeping RSI oversold value 5 all over until last two. I'll talk about those. But I'm decreasing my RSI sold value, uh, overbought value from 90 to 85. Look at the difference. Now slowly MA 100 is trying to flip. 75, it's 62% profitable. 65, 67, 60, 70%. It is almost doubling to compared to MA 200 values. Then instead of keeping it 5, I modified it to 6. So if it goes below 6 and then exits above 60, 80% profit. And finally, after all this optimization, I settled on this value. I will enter below 7 and I will exit above 65. So it gave 90% profit in 3 months. I think around 3 months. I tested most of these were tested on 15 minutes. So from March to June, around give and take roughly 3.5 months, maybe 4 months. So that's impressive. And again, this is for Ethereum. So I checked for other like other cryptos. For example, I think AVAX gave about 60% return. KuCoin gave about 35% return. So the range is massive. Matic I think gave around 40% return. But you know uh, the range is massive. But I'm just trying to show you that how a trading system gets developed. You start with a system that maybe a lot of people use and just modify it to make it your own. So this was the example I wanted to show you. So what are the next steps? I had mentioned a trend following system as well, right? So we talked about a mean reversion system. The trend following system is what I'm trying to develop. And in here, a lot of things stay the same. Only the way I enter and the way I exit changes. So I'm still going to go long above SMA 100 and short below SMA 100. Okay. And as soon as RSI goes below 5, I'm going to enter. But I'm going to enter in a different way. Now, since this is a trend following system, I am going to keep following the trend instead of exiting quickly on that RSI oversold. So as soon as my as soon as my price goes above SMA 100, I am going to keep buying whenever RSI closes below 7. So I'll make, let's say, 4 or 5 buys, and I will sell when the price hits below 100 again. So, right, that's what the trend following system is. It's like a EMA cross. So if you think about it, EMA crosses 50, 50 crosses 100, you go enter and exit only when 50 comes below 100. So that's like a trend following system, right? So before I go to questions, I just want to show you, because that's I'm not gonna leave you without showing that. Okay, so this is our chart. Is my computer working when I need it? What the heck is happening? Yeah, sorry for this. Hopefully. Alright, sorry. I think my machine's acting up. So sorry for the technical difficulty. So I'm going to show you a short strategy using this 3 period RSI mean reversion. So what did we say? If the price closes below SMA 100, we're gonna look for shorts, right? So okay, price closed here and it triggered a short exactly when RSI was above 65, and then it closed it when RSI closed below 7, right? So I think during this downtrend from 1700, there were a lot of trades. So, but what I want to show you is a trend following system, right? These all mean reversion trades, quick in and out. But a trend following system would have done something like this. Short here, add to the short on the next signal, add to the short on the next signal, add to the short on the next signal. So this way we could spread our buys, meaning we would just use the trend to our strength. I mean, this may sound counterintuitive, like why are you shorting at the bottom? But the idea is we are just going to follow the trend, and that's how trend following systems work. And finally, we'll close when the price closes above the moving average 100 in this case. So yeah, guys, that's how this trend following system would look like, and I'm curious to see how profitable it will be. That will be something more of a swing trading approach, and I just want to see. I'm excited to test it, and then I'll share the results with you. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, uh, let me get that slide. Yeah, questions finally. Yeah, if anyone has any questions about this, feel free to post a comment. You can reach me on my Telegram, or for those of who you are into crypto, Success for Beginners Discord, feel free to reach out to me there. I'm also active on Instagram sometimes. So you know,